And welcome back to another edition of Wolverine Chat. I am your host, Tim Raymond. Um, wow, was that a must win? And when I say must win, I mean for Sharon Moore, for some of the fans, just to be able to breathe again. And if nothing gets something out of the season, a lot of you guys are going to say, who cares? It doesn't really matter. They're terrible. They're two terrible teams. And yes, they were two very average teams, I will admit. But listen, they won. They played a lot better. And can we just enjoy a victory? We haven't enjoyed any of the victories. Maybe the USC victory, but everybody was complaining about no passing. But besides the USC victory, I think this was one of the better victories, or the best victory. So let's go over the game and see what happened. By the way, all you Sharon haters, he was the first year coach to win against MSU. I mean, and I don't know how far back into I can't remember when the last coach was, but I know in U.S. or current history, it wasn't. Bo never did it. Mo never did it. Let's see, Bo didn't do it. Moeller didn't do it. Of course, Rich Rod didn't do it. I don't think Rich Rod ever won. But Brady Hoke didn't do it. Jim Harbaugh didn't do it. Now, he kind of did, but they screwed up that punt. I don't care how many times we win a national championship, I won't forget that play, that punt. He dropped it. I mean, y'all know what happened. That's when the Michigan fan was going like this with the yellow shirt on. Anyway, back to this version, which of course ended in another melee, which I'm just getting sick of. And maybe call me crazy, but it wasn't. We didn't start it. Now, we could have walked away from it, and we probably should have, but they started it. He head slapped him. He went into him. He played hard on a kneel. He didn't have to touch him. Just kneel, get up, and walk away. But we'll get into that. But the game. Okay, so Michigan wins 24-17. If you had told me that we were going to be outrushed 119, I believe, to 163, I would have told you we lost. I said on our last video, 48 of the last 54 teams that have outrushed and won the rushing battle wins the game. Michigan did not outrush them. In fact, Michigan had, I said 119, you take the 64 yards away from Alex Orji, and we're around 60 yards? Something like that. That's crazy. Yeah, because Mullen had 22 to see. Mullen had 18 yards and Donovan 24 yards. Mullen was 1.4 per. 13 carries and 18 yards. Donovan, slightly better, and I do mean slightly better. 9 carries for 24, 2.7, but let's face it, Donovan played better. He had a couple nice runs, harder runs. I thought he ran a little harder. It's hard to say, especially when he had 24 yards. Okay, but I still think he ran a little harder. And what a pass! His quarterback percentage continues to be perfect. Halfback pass to Loveland in the end zone for a touchdown. At the end of the show, we'll go over our offensive game ball and our defensive game ball. But yeah, the stats wise, Davis Warren, 13 for 19, 123 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. And there wasn't really close to an interception, to be honest. Took care of the ball. And Orji came in. I told you, they had to kind of use them both. They knew Orji was going to run every time, and he still ran. I don't know what his lead. I think he had one run for 7 yards, and the rest were over that. He literally, some of those touches, he literally won the game at the end, running off the clock. and what he did in the first half when he scored that touchdown, just amazing. He did a great job, and I'm so glad. They gotta do him. But here's the thing: I think they ought to maybe put him in a few more spots, and don't throw tomatoes at me. I'd like to see him throw a couple times. In fact, I wouldn't mind if they just totally tricked him and either did a flea flicker or threw downfield a couple times just to shake him up. It might not work, but it's going to make him think. Now, yes, he hasn't proven he can throw accurately, but he has a gun. He has an arm. I hate to think about it, but it reminds me back of Joe Milton. I think he was a 5-star, maybe a 4-star. I'm not sure, but he turned out to be a big nothing burger. I remember in 2020, he started out against Minnesota, played okay, but that was it after that. Couldn't hit anything. And the thing with Orgy, they really haven't. Now, I know we don't see him in practice, but they haven't shown him throwing the ball downfield. Just give him a couple shots. Every shot he has is behind the line of scrimmage. A little, if it's a crossing pattern, we're lucky. A lot of just little dinks and dunks and screen passes. But so I wouldn't mind. I don't want to get him, passing a lot, but just maybe once in a while trick him up. But even running, they just got to use both quarterbacks at this point. It's not ideal. The old saying, if you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. And in a way, I believe that. But in this case, we have to do it. So what else can I tell you? Receiving, Colston Loveland, just a stud. 6 receptions, 67 yards or 67 yards, 2 touchdowns, 11.2 per reception. Donovan had a couple of receptions, which I always love seeing. Let's see, how did Samaj Morgan, 3 receptions for 12 yards. Not a lot, but he also had a fake end around and had a nice run there. Samaj ran for that was a 7-yard run, but that was from the 10. It got us down to 3. That was a big play. So he played better. Defensively, he had 4 sacks. And you know how many sacks MSU had? 0. Goose egg. So yeah, everybody keeps telling us we didn't deserve to win. They outplayed us everywhere. But let me tell you this. First of all, they outplayed us in the first half, specifically the first quarter, specifically the first 2 downs or first 2 possessions. But Michigan got it going near the end of the second half. Had a great. They were down 7-0, as we know. MSU went down on the first drive, got down to the 2-yard line, could not get it in on a pass from Aiden Childs. Then what happened was they were going to go for it. So they go for it, and what happens is they get a penalty. I think it was a delay of game penalty. So they had to go back 5 yards. So they go. Before I go any further, let me mention Nick Marsh. I think he's a freshman, but that kid he's going to be a great receiver. They've got some players. They have a couple good players over there that are really impressive. Nate Marsh and Nate Carter, just a great guy, a great kid. I heard him interviewed. He just is sharp, smart, just with it. It's really impressive. But anyway, back to what I was saying. They got a penalty. Should call timeout. Went for a field goal instead. Missed the field goal. So I'm excited. I'm there with my wife at the game. She had to leave in the first drive because my brother was there, could not download his tickets. So she had to go, and she's the kind of person that fixes everything. She's the one, hey, how do I do this? I don't care what it is. She figures it out. So she sacrificed this to get my nephew and my brother in, and she's wonderful. I hate when she wasn't there because I like watching it with her, but she sacrificed, and I'm so glad my brother came in. He was from out of town. He's here setting up a business, insurance business for Medicare or life insurance. So if you're getting over or near 65 or need life insurance, just give me a post or a text, and I'll hook you up with him. Greg Raymond, Michigan Financial, it's called. Just a little free, Greg. free plug for you. So they kick the field goal. It's missed. I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute. This is what happened at Texas. So is this too exciting? I don't know. So what happens is, because I'm thinking, Texas came back and whipped us. Same thing on the second drive. First of all, we get nowhere, a yard or two. They get the ball, move it right down again. I'm like, every Michigan fan in there knew this was going to be a long day. And I got to admit it, I did not have the most confidence. In fact, we were getting into some arguments with some of the fans around there about who caused this. They wanted to blame Jim Harbaugh. I think Jim Harbaugh leaving is part of the reason, but I don't think it's like a fault. I don't think you blame Jim Harbaugh on what happened. But, we were just having talk because the wives thought we were fighting because us guys get so emotional. Even teams on the same team, but same fan base. But this is what's happening this year. They're tearing us apart, guys. You're tearing us apart. So, stuck together, got that drive going late in the second half, had that great Davis Warren hitting some passes on third down that he needed, mostly to Colston Loveland, and that pass to Colston, wide open on the left side of the end zone, nobody within 10 yards of him. Touchdown, we're up. All excited, and then what happens? You know what happens. We botch the snap. So we botched the snap. We're only up one. We're like, you know what, considering how this first half basically went, we'll take it, right? Well, MSU, I'm like, okay, maybe they'll try to score. Maybe they'll try to get into field goal range. I forget their kicker, number 97. Guy's a good kicker. So they start moving. What is his name? Oh, yeah, Jonathan Kim. So they want to get in field goal range for Jonathan Kim. I think if the first pass was like... or first they ran it, I think it was about a 15-yard pass. So they're up somewhere around the 35. And so they decided they're going to move it along and try to get a field goal. So Aiden gets out of the pocket, and we are chasing him down. Who was it? I know Kenneth Grant got the return. Josiah Stewart. Yeah, strip sacked him. Ball popped loose. We were waiting for Kenneth Grant to pick that ball up and get a scoop and score. But he remembered USC, folks. And he maybe I could do it. The chances are pretty good. But if I don't do it, then we're going to go down and I'm going to blow a scoring opportunity. How many scoring opportunities does Michigan have? So he lies on the ball. I know he flattened the ball. A guy like that, there is no air left in that ball. Guaranteed. But he lands on it, holds it. Next play, it would have been a long field goal. I think it would have been about a 56-yarder. Maybe make it, but we have a nice little swing pass to my man Donovan. Donovan takes it, runs out of bounds, does a great job of getting out of bounds. And then Zavada he kicked a field goal and missed it, but there was a timeout called. So praise God, we had a second chance. But you could see everybody looking at each other. Oh my gosh, is he going to miss this? But he makes the second one. We go in a half. Timeout. Up to, my brain's not working. We're up 10-9. Or let's try this again. 9-7. Up 9-7. So second half comes, and our best chance. What happened here is we score. We got a 3 for 3. 2 touchdowns of 3 plays and 3 scoring. 2 touchdowns, 1 field goal. We scored. We got the ball back. We scored again on a field goal. We get the ball back in the beginning of the second half, and we score. Boom, bam, wham, bam, game over. Basically, it was over at that point. Not for sure, but at that point, we went up, and we're up 16-7, and doing well. Things are looking better. And then our defense steps up for most of the half until late in the second, fourth quarter, late in the second half. They drove one, got a field goal, drove again, went back and forth. Michigan stalled out, I think, once or twice. But I think they got first down. They got some first downs during that, but anyway, they scored. Michigan scored to go up by two touchdowns. They were up 24 to 10, looking pretty good. And it was pretty good. I mean, we pretty much won at that point. MSU went down, but it wasn't for sure over. They went down. We kept having third downs. And I'll tell you guys, here's one thing, the thing that frustrated me the more is it continues to happen. It's the third down. We can't get off. We do our butts off on first and second. We put them behind the sticks, and we cannot get them off the field. Third down, they third and 12, third and 14. If it's third and 3, I'm confident. If it's third and long, we're not going to get them off the field. It's frustrating. And our tackling. These guys are not tackling. I'm serious. They're going through 1, 2, 3 arm tackles, just whiffing at the guys, grabbing their toes. I mean, they're not wrapping these people up. Hausman is our best tackler, if you ask me. Ernest Hausman. He can tackle, but besides him right now, it's just not working well. Will Johnson's out. He tackles well. So they score. It's 24-17. We have the ball. We need 1, maybe 2 touchdowns or first downs, and game's over. We bring Orgy in. First play from Scurmish, he goes for, 17 yards. Problem is, it's a first down, and they have 3 first down timeouts left. So we're back at first down, and they have time, and the game is not officially over. So we had to get a first down. Mullins does his 1 or 2 yard thing. Bottom line, third down and long again. Very important play. If we don't get it, we're kicking to them. And this game is not over. It is not over. But what happens? RG runs so carefully. He comes and beeves and wobs, and he looks, and he's patient. He waits for his blocks, goes behind a block. Boom. Field goal. I keep saying touchdown. Not a field goal either. First down. First down, he slides perfectly. He doesn't try to do too much. He doesn't put his health at risk. He doesn't go out of bounds. Anyway, he slides, first down, game over. But then, of course, what happens? They get into victory formation, and we all know what happened. But listen, that game was chippy. There were so many plays that MSU hit our guys out of bounds. One, Donovan Edwards on that halftime play was just destroyed. You watch it. Go back and watch it. He was destroyed and he was out of bounds. And I was watching George Blaha, and credit to him, although the rest of his broadcast was pretty one-sided, as it should be. He's an MSU announcer. But he even said that was bad. That was really bad. And that he got lucky he didn't get caught. So a lot of chippiness, a lot of hits out of bounds. Michigan held their composure, and we ended up winning. And everybody, again, like I said, says they outplayed us, they this. Well, let me tell you, okay, they outplayed us in a lot of ways. They did when it comes to team stats. Again, we went over that. 265 total for Michigan, 352 for State. But here's what they didn't outdo us. Okay, first of all, they had a turnover, a big turnover, which really turned this game over. Wouldn't you agree that turnover was a major factor? Momentum got us the points, got us the lead. We had scored, got the momentum, missed the extra point, lost the momentum. I wouldn't say we totally lost it, but MSU had at least some momentum, right? They outplayed us. They were still up by 1 point. And they missed some opportunities. They knew that. But we score, we're excited, miss the extra point. So it's kind of, we both have some momentum. What happens? We get all the momentum back. Strip sack, kick the extra point going in. So that strip sack by him was huge, just huge. And my man, Kenneth Grant, falling on it he's the man. I love Kenneth Grant. Mason Graham had a good game. So, but yeah, no turnovers, incredible. No penalties. Michigan had no penalties, and that's when you're going to criticize Sharon Moore, praise him when he deserves it. His game plan, he kept his guys in the game up here. up here, smart. So I heard a lot of people about after the game that, we couldn't control ourselves. Well, the whole game we controlled ourselves when they were hitting us dirty and we did nothing. So I don't want to get into that, but again, I'll talk about it for a second. What else did we outdo? Sacks. How many sacks did Michigan have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Michigan had 4 sacks. We sacked them 4 times. They sacked us a total of 0. Think about that. 0. That was great. Give credit to Evan Link. He came back. He was really rough most of the season. Took him out. They brought him back. Did a great job. Miles Hinton being back in there. Big job. Crippen, I thought, did okay. Greg did pretty well. But overall, their pass protection was good. Their running, not so much. If you watch these guys, I said before, when you have to make your first cut behind the line of scrimmage, you're in trouble. You watched last year, you watched Blake Corum. Even Donovan Edwards last year, for the most part, wouldn't make his cut till a yard or two past the line of scrimmage. And then they usually got 2 or 3 extra yards. They're making their cut, trying to get to the line of scrimmage or maybe 1 or 2 yards out. And that was the best they were doing. So I thought the offensive line stepped it up from Illinois, but they're still not there. And if we're going to have any chance against Oregon, we need to step it up. We need to run and mix in the pass. We're not going to beat them on the pass. We need that running game back. So let's see what happens there. But again, Josiah Stewart was a big time player. So those are the things that Michigan really. And the last 4th thing I should have wrote it down was red zone. We were 4 for 4 in the red zone. 4 for 4 in the red zone. And they were, 2 for 3? I think they were 2 for 3. They missed, got a field goal. Yeah, 2 for 3. And we were 4 for 4. So we outdid them in the red zone. And remember, if we were that way against Illinois, we would have beat Illinois. We should have beat. I always said in the past, if you had a mediocre or decent quarterback who's serviceable and we play a cleaner game, we would have been 6-1 right now. But you know what? That's why they play it on the field, because we haven't had a clean game. We haven't had a serviceable quarterback. Maybe now we know why Tuttle was struggling. Another concussion and a lot of pain, and his shoulder was still hurting. He was supposed to be our first starting quarterback, but because that was not like him. He had a decent first game, had that 3 series in a row, but after that, he just couldn't really seem to get it back together. Maybe the adrenaline got him in for the first few series. Then after that, the pain started coming. I don't know, but maybe that's one of the reasons. He said that's one of the reasons he retired, because of health reasons. 5 concussions, and now you have the passing problem. That was going to be a lingering problem probably, and he probably knew it. So, we'll again talk about him for a couple minutes here in a second. We want to finish the game up. So that's I think basically it. Michigan didn't play super great, but they played good enough, and they played better. The problem was they didn't run as good as I'd like. If they can get a running game back with the way the passing game was good enough, we get the running game back going, we get the offensive line getting some push. There's not a lot of push. Protection is a different type of offensive line. They did well. They improved, but they worked too much on that apparently and forgot about getting a nice run blocking, because it wasn't good. It wasn't good. So anyway, that's what happened. It was a great game, and I'm very excited. And if your fans aren't happy about it, then I don't know. We're almost for sure going to see a bowl game. And why that's important is just simply we get 15 more practices. If we're going to use Jaden Davis, he gets more practices. We get not that we need our name out there, but recruits get to see us again. And it's fun. I don't care what bowl it is. I like watching Michigan football play. If you don't like it, don't watch it. If you don't like watching them when they're not good, then you're not a fan. You only like when they're good. Don't be a fan. And I mean that, because a fan is with them good and and bad. It doesn't mean they're not honest and they can say what's wrong, but you're still a fan. And I hear these people saying they're never going to win another game. And I mean, they're not going to lose to Northwestern. Okay, they're not. And I really didn't think they were going to. I did not think they were going to lose to MSU. I thought they could lose, but I didn't think they were going to. Now, if you had asked me in the first quarter, I would have definitely said they were going to lose. Okay, let's talk a little bit about. I want to continue talking about these fans. Look, guys, what is it? Why is it everything or nothing? It's like you have to prove that you're an honest fan and you're not going to just lie about Michigan and say the good when they stink. That's fine, but let's remember they're college kids and you can still support them. You can say, yeah, like our quarterback has been terrible. Okay, and I love all these guys, but they haven't been doing the job. They know that, we know that, but you don't need to get personal. You don't need to just tear up and make them feel, as bad as you can. That's not the goal. I don't like doing that in pro football. I'm honest, and these guys are getting paid, so if they can't do it, then find somebody that can, right? But you still don't need to get personal. But I'm just so sick of Michigan fans. It seems Lion fans are the same thing. I literally watched that 52-14 demolition of Tennessee, and there's people that were like, what's wrong? We got to get rid of, our defense is this. We can't do this. If we don't get somebody for Aiden, we're going to, lose. Whatever. They cannot find and enjoy the game. If you can't enjoy the game, why are you a fan? I would not watch the game. It's hard enough watching the bad part. That's tough. But to watch the good part and still not enjoy it, why even do it? I do it because I enjoy it. And I've even learned when they've lost, it used to take me a week to get over it. I get it down to a day. And now you can ask my wife. I get pretty upset, but I get over it and we go out and do our thing. Okay, I'm not going to make my wife, I try not to make my wife punish her because I'm upset because Michigan lost. She's upset too. She's a real fan, not like me, but I've been, it's been all my life. She's a true fan and gets upset, but she just can go on with it. So kudos to her. Again, please, guys, can we just enjoy the game? Say what you want, be honest, but enjoy the good, okay? When it gets better, enjoy it. That's all I have to say about that. I want to talk about recruiting now. Again, this kind of goes back to these fair weather fans will never recruit again. Nobody will ever want to go to Michigan. Did we remember or forget 2020? Do we remember how bad it was before that last Jim Harbaugh run, what 2020 was? And then we had 2017 and 19. 15 was a rebuilding year. 16 was a pretty good year. 18, we could have won the national championship, in my opinion. Should have been to the playoffs. That was a bad call. The spot, remember the spot? So, but it wasn't, dead. Then the next year, we kind of regressed. So it's been ups and downs with Jim Harbaugh until that last run. And we're all ready to give up on Sharon Moore just because the year before we won a national championship. Look, if he does the same thing, has the same mistakes next year, fair enough. But they're not getting rid of him this year, and they're going to keep him for another year. I want to say that. And everybody who I talk with these recruits, they're all coming. He is tearing it up. I just hope he's not going to be a Juwan Howard recruiter and an X and O Juwan Howard, although I don't even think Juwan Howard did that bad. He had a lot of Sweet 16s and an Elite 8. But at the time, it was time for him to go. I agree with that decision. Dusty May is going to be a great coach. I think we're going to have a lot of excitement this year at college hoops, Michigan hoops. So first let me talk about, I talked about Andrew Babalola, 5-star. This guy is, I think, the third or fourth highest rank in the country. This is one of the top guys, period. And we got him. And he loves Michigan and he's coming. And he said, look, I know they're struggling, but I know they're going to be back because guess what? Yeah, I'm not going to say it's not about money. I'm sure that's part of it, but he wants an education. If he can get an education, like Michigan is second to none, the football, I mean, I'm not going to say it's a bad football because we had one bad program. Overall, this program is great. I'm so proud. And then take that away, you got how they take care of you, he said. So, and we get all kinds of NFL guys. So why would you not want to come to Michigan? So he's coming. We're going to talk about Bryce Underwood here in a second. Shamali Earls, cornerback from Georgia. He's all but stripped, or stripped. He's all but flipped from Georgia to Michigan. He was there, loved it. He is ready. I mean, he's gone on Twitter and Instagram and just loves Michigan. You can tell when someone's being honest and someone's just being polite. He loves it here. The only reason they haven't really made it official is his dad is still a little bit on the fence. He likes Georgia. I think he's still a Georgia guy, but he's not. He loves Michigan too, and I think ultimately it's going to be up to the kid himself. So I think I'd say there's an 80% chance, 70 to 80 that he's coming for sure. Going to be a great cornerback. Let's see who else we got. If I can read my. Can't read my writing here. Where's my glasses? Oh, we got the fourth Bradley Gopher. He's a 4-star linebacker. That's again the 2025 season, of course. I think he's number 30 or 68 in the nation. He is. I mean, we've got a great chance of getting him. He should be signing anytime. We've got Earls, I said, and we got wide receiver that I can't even remember. But we've got a great wide receiver coming. That's going to come basically with Bryce Underwood. Earls, that's right. I can't remember his first name. His last name's Earls. But the kid's 6'4". This is what we need, a stereotypical wide receiver. We haven't had one since, Braylon Edwards maybe? He's tall, can get those 50-50 balls, throw it up. He's a great route runner. He's got big hands, great hands. He catches an inside shoulder fantastic. Just a good kid, Michigan kind of kid, and it looks great. So Bryce Underwood. I told you last time, a lot of people said he was not coming. It's not coming. I'm telling you, it's probably going to happen. We offered him. We have opened it up. Things have changed now. We are now Georgia's, Alabama's, Tennessee's, Ohio State's have to fight with Michigan's academics, our football, and now our alumni pocketbook. I'm not saying I love that because I don't like where it's gone with the NIL, but I'm telling you, if we're going to compete, we've got to do something. We can still develop. We need to do that. But some of these guys we're going to get. So Bryce really he's excited about this team. Can you imagine if some of these guys I mentioned come next year, what kind of team we could have next year? Especially Earls. I mean, that guy, he's his teammate. He knows him. I mean, they could play 8 years together, 7 years together. So, he's thinking about it. I would say, I think Michigan's chance, from what I've been told by a source that I know knows. I don't know, but I know a source who does know. And it's gone up from my last podcast. It's probably about 60% that I think 65% that he's going. Was he at the game? We're not sure. There's rumors that he was. There's rumors that he wasn't. His family was there. Now, they might have put him in a special place. I think he might have been there, but I'm not going to say for sure. But his family was, and they're very happy. So now, what does that mean about Jaden Davis? I don't know. But I tell you what, if Jaden Davis wants to be at Michigan and still show him something, they better put him in, and he better show something. I don't know what's going to happen, because I'm telling you, Bryce Underwood is starting as a freshman. He is starting as a freshman. So we'll see let it play out. But I never say don't get all you can. Now, do I want to spend $5 million on one guy when we get some of these receivers? I don't know. If he's there, yeah, I'd be happy. But I like Jaden Davis. I'd like him. He's just he's a good kid. He's a winner, and I think he can do something, but I don't know what's happening behind the scene. I know he's getting better, and he may play this year, so we'll see. But what I'm saying, things are getting better. There's a lot to look forward to next year. Don't let everybody tell you it's going to be years before we win again. Okay, game ball. I'm going to give the offensive game ball to, Colston Loveland. How can I not? Colston, he continues to be everything. He really is. He had 6 receptions, folks, 67 yards, 11.2 and 2 touchdowns. Just our go-to guy. On defense, I'm giving it to Kenneth Grant. I could have given it, there's a couple guys I could have given it to. I could have given it to Josiah Stewart. He had a great, but they did it together. But just because of what happened at USC with Grant, the way he was smart and did that, and the rest of the game, he played wonderful. He had what? He had a tackle. I don't think he had a sack. Josiah Stewart had a sack. I don't know. I'm going to give a half a ball to each. They were Josiah Stewart, and I know I shouldn't do that, but I'm going to split it. Half a ball to Josiah and half a ball to Kenneth Grant. Offensively, I thought about giving it to Davis Warren, even though he didn't tear it up, but he came back. He didn't give up. He did so much. He had some big third downs. He really did. Even a big third down to somebody not Colston Loveland. Samaj Morgan had 3 receptions, so he did a little better. But I'm going to give it to Colston Loveland. I can't not. He got that 2-point conversion. He just got everything. He just did. So that's who I'm giving it to. Oregon is going to win. Could Michigan win? Surprising, I think they could. They'd have to play a perfect game. For Michigan to even be close to it, look, we have got to slow the game down. We've got to get back to 5-6 yards per rush with Mullins, and then put Donovan in once, every 3rd, 4th run, and let him maybe break one every 8th run, or every 2 runs a day. Get those guys going again. Use our passing when we need to. We don't need to be throwing it 40 yards downfield, but continue throwing it 12 to 15. Hit, those turnaround passes. A lot of crossing routes. I like the crossing route. Of course, I love the RPO. Let's see Davis Warren running a run pass option, and see what happens. Their defense needs to continue to play well, keep them in the game, do that bend but not break. But the offense has got to even do better than they did against MSU, because they got to run better. And that's so I'm going 30. I'm going 31 to 24. 31-24. Take the odds, folks. If you're bad, I don't really bet, but if you're a betting person, take the odds. Michigan is a 14 to 15 point underdog. They're going to cover. Oregon will not cover. The last thing I want to talk about before I say goodbye is that stupid end of the game. Okay, so let me tell you this. Clearly, like I mentioned before, they started it. I don't want to sound like a 5-year-old. They started it. Okay, this was a victory formation where you go down, you get up, and you shake hands. If you don't want to shake hands, fine. But why is he pushing up against us? Now, once he did that and slapped them and went hard, Colston retaliated. Is he allowed to? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. I think he should have just said, I would have looked at him and I said something like, you know what, you will always be a little brother, or something like that. He might have used some more words. I don't know. But he didn't need to get, retaliate physically. Some people said he had a right defending himself. If it were me, I would have just walked away. And then we could have said what we said. But in no way, shape, or form is it his fault. Should he be punished? Okay? I heard so many Michigan fans, punish him. You know what? You go in your world and let us big boys play football and watch football, because in no way should he. It wasn't that big a deal. Okay, it's just because it's Michigan State. Again, I didn't like it. You know, it could have turned to something. The referees, even the Big Ten, MSU, and the athletic director. Oh, it's not fair. I want them to be investigated. Well, they're not doing anything because nothing happened. And you tried to go against my man, Khalil Mullins. If you guys even knew Khalil, I have talked to him and I have met him, and I can tell you the kind of guy he is, would never just stomp on a guy. He is a God-fearing man of God that plays so hard, but after he is just a good, decent man. He got into some fisticuffs because he was trying to break it up. He's reaching down, pulling his leg out. It was stuck. He's trying to break them and our guy up, okay? So he was a peacemaker. Believe it or not, he was trying. And if you look at it really close and you know that's what happened, watch it again. And you could see where he's trying to grab the guys and pull them away and grab them. And then his foot got caught and he lifted it up, okay? That's what happened. So leave him alone. I'm going to defend the players that I know. He doesn't need my defending, first of all, but I'm still going to defend the guy because he's a great guy. It's like saying Donovan Edwards would do something like that. You know Donovan wouldn't do anything like that. I'm trying to see my notes if I could read anything else. I think that's just about it, but it was a great game. We had a couple of those videos in the beginning. My wife and I had a great time going, so sorry to bore you with home movies, but she's a wonderful woman, never gone to any game in her life, and all of a sudden, when I met her last year and a half, before she married me, she had all her Michigan gear. She was trying to do the fight song. The first game, she would say "Hail" just after everybody else said "Hail." She was about a half a second off. It was so cute, so adorable. I love her to death, and I love watching Michigan games with her. One time, she was late watching the Texas game for about half a game, and she texted me. She said, "You can watch the game. You'll be okay watching it by yourself." And I'm like, "No, I won't. You need to be here." So she makes good things great and great things amazing. So, okay. Once again, I want you guys to go out and don't forget to vote. Please don't. If you're voting conservative, don't think that they've got it won. Don't assume it. Just like the Chicago Bears versus the Washington Redskins, we can't get cocky and think it's all over. You got to go and vote. Vote. Because even though, quote, our team might be leading, you never know. You got to get out there. Christians especially, get out there and vote. Conservatives, get out there and vote. Vote early if you still can. Do something nice for somebody. Go to a neighbor's house, help them. Just cook a meal for somebody, help somebody across the street, help somebody move something if you see them struggling. Do all that. God bless you. Go Blue. And we'll talk to you after the Oregon game. But I'm telling you guys, with what's going to happen next season, this season's getting easier and easier to stomach. At least it is for me. God bless. Go Blue. See you later.